To stand before the face of God, that is our vocation. Our daily schedule ensures us of hours for solitary dialogue with the Lord, and these are the foundation of our life. No human eye can see what God does in the soul during hours of inner prayer. It is grace upon grace, and all of life's other hours are our thanks for them. Edith Stein. In 1933, Edith Stein entered the Discalced Carmelite monastery, St. Maria von Frieden, in Cologne-Lindenthal, taking the name Sister Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. What had brought this remarkable woman, Jewish, and only 20 years earlier an atheist, to take the habit of a cloistered religious sister and live according to the rule of the ancient Carmelite order? Edith Stein was born in Breslau, Germany on October 12, 1891, the feast of Yom Kippur, the Jewish Day of Atonement, and the highest holy day of the year. Edith was the youngest of 11 children, born to Siegfried and August Stein, both observant Jews. Her father, who ran a timber business, died when Edith was just 2 years old. Edith's mother succeeded in managing her husband's business and providing an education for her children. Edith herself was a brilliant student, and by 1913 had enrolled at the University of Göttingen to study with Edmund Husserl, whose new approach to philosophy, phenomenology, a return to the truth of experience, Stein found herself irresistibly attracted to. During the early years of the First World War, Edith worked as a Red Cross nurse in an Austrian field hospital. By 1916, she resumed her studies with Husserl, and in 1917 received a doctorate summa cum laude for her thesis on the problem of empathy. Despite her position as Husserl's assistant and her manifest intellectual gifts, Edith found the way to a permanent faculty position in German academia barred to her because she was a woman and a Jew. During her years working for Husserl, Edith found a number of lifelong friends, fellow phenomenologists who were also Christians. She was intrigued by their faith and began to learn more about Christianity. In 1921, Edith's most powerful conversion experience came with reading St. Teresa of Avila's autobiography. She spent all night reading it, finishing it in just one sitting. She later stated that she could not imagine reading such a book and not also putting it into practice. She was baptized on January 1st, 1922. While Edith's conversion was difficult for her devout Jewish mother, for Edith, it was a homecoming. She wrote, "I had given up practicing my Jewish religion when I was a 14-year-old girl and did not begin to feel Jewish again until I returned to God." Still unable to get a job at a German university, Edith blazed her own trail. She taught for the Dominican Sisters at Speyer from 1923 until 1931, translated St. Thomas Aquinas' De Veritate, wrote countless letters of friendship, spiritually mentored young women, and gave numerous lectures across Europe on the education and vocation of women. In 1932, she finally obtained a professorship at the Institute for Scientific Pedagogy at the University of Münster, but anti-Semitic legislation passed by the new Nazi government forced her to resign in 1933. This proved to be as much an opportunity as a disappointment for Edith, for she had desired since her conversion in 1922 to become a Carmelite nun. And finally in 1933, after being a Red Cross nurse, the assistant to Husserl, a noted phenomenologist in her own right, Catholic scholar, and speaker on women's issues, Edith Stein took the habit and veil of the Carmelites, even as darkness broke out over Germany. Edith embraced her Carmelite vocation with great joy and peace and continued her studying and writing. It is during these years that she composed an account of her early life and wrote her great work combining scholastic metaphysics and phenomenology, finite and eternal being, and her final work on St. John of the Cross, the science of the cross. She was also keenly aware of the new evil in Germany in the form of National Socialism. In 1938, her sisters transferred her to the Carmel in Echt, Netherlands, to protect her from the Nazi persecution of Jews. But she was not to be safe there either. A public statement of the Dutch Catholic bishops against the racism of the Nazis resulted in Nazi retaliation against Jewish converts to Christianity. Edith Stein was arrested on August 2nd, 1942, and deported to Auschwitz with her sister Rosa and 987 other Jews. She and her sister Rosa are believed to have died in the gas chamber in Auschwitz on August 9th. Edith seems to have had some expectation of her own death. She had not expected to survive the war, and in 1939 had already written that, "Even now I accept the death that God has prepared for me in complete submission and with joy as being His most holy will for me. I ask the Lord to accept my life and my death, so that the Lord will be accepted by His people, and that His kingdom may come in glory for the salvation of Germany and the peace of the world." How do we respond to radical evil in our world? Through her life and writing, I believe Edith Stein has shown us how to respond to spiritual darkness, whether it be subtle and disguised or blatant and obvious. Activism is good, but mere activism is not enough. It is only through seeking out and testifying to the truth and to authentic goodness with the witness of our lives, with our entire being, and through God's grace, that we can truly unmask and oppose evil. Edith Stein was beatified as a martyr in 1987 and canonized by Pope John Paul II in 1998. Along with St. Catherine of Siena and St. Bridget of Sweden, she is one of the 3 Catholic patronesses of Europe. I am Father Justin Charles Gable for the Amir Stein Center. If this message was meaningful to you, please share it with a friend or colleague.